Good morning, Mr. Nigam. Could you please confirm? Could you please confirm that you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. And very good morning.
I hope you're doing well and having a great day so far.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you so much for making yourself available for this meeting. I really appreciate it. So,
My pleasure.
regarding this meeting, it will be in interview format and will take approximately 20 to 25 minutes. I hope it's okay with you.
Okay.
And just before I start, I would
Mhm.
like to notify you that this meeting is getting recorded and going
Okay.
live on YouTube. So, may I request you not to disclose any confidential information about your professional or personal life?
Okay.
Thank you. So, moving on, do you have any questions before we begin?
Not no.
No? So, here's the agenda for today. It is mainly spread into three sections. In the first section, there will be a set of questions, followed by a personality check in the middle, which is just a fun activity and something for you to take away. And lastly, some suggestion and advice questions from you.
Okay.
So I hope you're as excited as I am. So let's begin.
Okay. Let's do.
So just to begin with, could you please briefly describe what your role is professionally?
Okay. I work as a financial consultant in the software industry, and I work with the SAP as a product. And my main task is project management, which handles a team from India as well as onshore here. I also do consultancy in terms of how to establish their business, considering the software requirement as well as the financial requirements.
Cool. So do you like your job? How do you
Yes,
feel
very
about
much. Yes, very much. Every day there is a scope of learning. I manage the people. I come across the different type of people. So that is quite exciting.
it? Yeah. So I'm so do you like your job? How do you feel about it? And if so, is there any interesting thing that happens?
Yeah, a lot of things happen because once you do any advice to any client and the way they ask the question, the way they try to adopt what I'm trying to say, that gives me the satisfaction because it is me who gives the advice and they follow. So it is quite exciting.
Definitely. Okay. So now I'm moving from the what your profession is.
Mhm.
I'm very interested to know which hobbies you enjoy. Are there any in particular?
Yes, I do a lot of outdoor activities for say like cricket, running, badminton. So many things I do. And whenever I get time, I also love to listen some soft music, movies.
Okay. So, is there any particular sport you like, and in that
Uh,
sport, your favorite role?
yes, I follow cricket a lot.
So, do you like it?
Yes, yes, very much.
Okay.
In my free time, I used to play it.
Cool. So now, moving on to the next question, do you have a soft skill that you've gained, and you're very glad to have gained?
Yes, in my profession, soft skills are required. Yes, definitely, I have those skills.
So, are there any in particular?
Communication is a good. I have done a lot of work on my communication skill. So that is a part of my profession. So I worked very hard on that, and now I can say that is a good strength in my professional life.
Thank you. I think that speaking is very good. And in speaking, you should be very good at persuading, like that.
Yeah.
Cool. So now, moving on from that, I'm very interested to know which skills you wished you really had.
I would say listening.
Listening, so you wished, I mean, listen.
Yes, yes. In professional life, sometimes we have to be a good listener also, because based on that, consultancy can be happen. And in my profession, where unless I listen the people properly, I cannot advise them properly. So I think that should be a key skill every professional should have.
Yeah, definitely. I think listening is essential because, as well as speaking, you should also listen. So, in let's say you wanted to get some, some facts. To know that facts, you either get it, you have to get it from somewhere,
Yeah,
and sometimes it's from listening, sometimes it's from reading, sometimes, like most, let's say you find some facts from the news, you have to listen, and
every
then
time. Yes.
you have to talk the facts that you've heard.
Yeah.
Mhm. Thank you. So now, moving from skills to advice,
Mm-hmm.
has there been a piece of advice that you've been given and you're very glad to have followed it?
Yes. In my earlier days of my career, I
Mhm,
was given advice that I should follow some international standard of accounting, which earlier we I was not used to, and that gave me a lot of boost in my career. So
mhm,
still, I would thank to that person who has advised me to go for accounting in terms of international standards.
mhm, definitely. So do you think it really helped you?
Yes, yes, definitely.
So now this question, it's based on the first question which I asked was skill.
Mm-hmm.
So is there a piece of advice that you have been given but you
Mm-hmm.
really wished you had followed?
Uh, there are so many, I would say. Earlier, one advice was like I should be a very good writer also, because based on the experience in the advising word, I should write something. But due to lack of time, I couldn't start. And if I would have written those experiences, it be helpful for the next youngsters who is coming as a new joiner in the office and all. So that could be the good SOP for them. But somehow I could not follow that thing. Still, I'm working on that. Maybe in one day I'll start that.
Definitely, because I think writing is also very, it's
Very.
essential. Like you need
Yes,
to know
yes,
it. Like, so because writing and typing, they're pretty much the same. It's just that writing you do it with a pencil, and typing you use your fingers.
yes.
Both you use your fingers. But in writing, so you need to know what the content is, and you need to know how to structure it
Correct.
in writing. So
Because writing is another form of communication. What you are writing, you should connect with the people also. Otherwise, they will lose interest and they won't read what you
mm,
have written.
definitely nice. So thank you for all your answers. We have pretty much finished the first section of this interview,
Mm-hmm.
but just before we move on to the second section, could you please try to describe yourself with 3 words?
Workaholic,
Mm-hmm.
energetic,
Yes,
and punctual.
thank you. So, could you please explain why you use these 3 words?
Okay. I said workaholic. That means I always love to work, and my timings are not fixed. I work in a flexi timings. I work with the across the globe people. So my time zone with their time zone may vary. So that it means I may start working even in night 11:30, because if I'm interacting with the people who is in America or the South America, sometimes early morning I have to start because the people whom I'm interacting may be in Australia.
Hmm.
So this makes me a workaholic. Energetic is I'm always have into for work, and
Yeah.
punctual means because my time zones are different, so I have to be very particular about timing. That's
Mhm.
what I said. I'm punctual.
Definitely. I can understand. Thank you. So thank you for all your answers. We have now finished the first section of this interview, and we will move on to the second section, which is the personality check. And
Okay.
if you ask me, I think it is probably the most fun part in this whole interview.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there aren't any right or wrong answers, and if you feel that there are any hard questions, feel free to skip them. So can you please put the following five animals in the order of your preference?
Okay. I'll put tiger, horse, cow, and pig.
How about the sheep? Will you add the
And
sheep
that,
last?
yeah, that's the last one.
Thank you. So, so each one here, it symbolizes something.
Yeah.
So when you said tiger, tiger means something, and then that's like the order you've put them in. It puts what your priorities are in your life.
Yeah.
So we'll find out what each one means. We'll move on to the next slide.
Yeah.
So tiger, which you said first, was pride. So your first priority is pride,
Yeah.
then family,
Yes.
then your job,
Yeah.
then money,
Yeah.
and then love.
Love.
Mhm.
Quite
Just
practical and professional.
so it's just a prediction that I've created
Mm-hmm.
based on this. Yeah, thank you. So now moving on, could you please share a word with me that you would use to describe each one of the following with?
Okay. Dog, I would say loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
Cat, I would say witty.
Mm-hmm.
Rat, I would say weak. Sea, I would say open sky.
Thank you. So each word that you've used, loyal, witty, weak, and open sky,
Mm-hmm.
and for each of the items, you've that word describes a personality.
Yep.
So when you said the dog was loyal, it
Yeah.
describes a personality. Same with the cat, same with the rat, and with the sea.
Yes.
So we'll move on to find out what each one means.
Mm-hmm.
So when you said the dog was loyal, you're loyal,
Yes.
your partner is witty,
Yeah.
your enemies are weak, and your
Yes.
life is open.
Open. Yes.
Okay. So thank you for your answers. We have now finished the second section of this interview, and
Okay.
we will move on to the third section, which is the suggestion and advice section. So, from your personal experience, if you were to give a piece of advice to children, what advice do you think you should give to them that they should follow?
Always be focused what you are doing. This is the mantra of life actually. You should not deviate what others are doing. Always follow what you are intent to do. That's what I
Like, focus on yourself, don't focus on other people.
what yes.
So,
Because
because then,
you can be a judge of your wishes,
yeah,
not the other guys who will take the decision of your life.
because then you'll be like a better person.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I would say.
So, now, following on from that question, but it's still
Mhm.
based on advice given to children,
Mhm.
is there a piece of advice that you should give to children that they shouldn't do?
They should not deviate based on the choices. I know in their life they will get multiple choices in their life, but they should know how to prioritize those choices. So, to ascertain those priorities, I would say would be the skills which they should use in their future.
Definitely.
Like if my son is in secondary school, he should not focus on what he will take in GCSE level. Rather, he should focus for the secondary one.
So don't just focus on what you're doing. Don't
Yes,
go
yes,
ahead.
yes. So set the priorities,
Mhm.
set the short goals in the life, take up baby steps.
Thank you. So, thank you for all your answers. We have now completed with the third section of this interview. So, just to conclude, could I please request you one thing that you have liked about this interview?
Sorry, come again. Your voice is breaking.
Could I please request you one thing that you have liked about this interview?
Okay, yeah. This interview has covered all aspects of the life actually, starting from the personal to professional and what people think in terms of giving the suggestion or advice. So that's a very good coverage, I would say.
Thank you.
I like the format.
Thank you. And just for the scope of improvement, if I
Hmm.
had to change something, what do you think I should change?
Put some more questions in terms of personality check and try to conclude what that person is.
Mhm. Yeah, sure.
So that it will make people to understand what exactly they are actually.
Sure. I'll do that. So,
Yeah,
otherwise, thank you for all your answers and feedback.
my pleasure.
Just for a token of appreciation,
Hmm.
I would really like to present you with this certificate for taking part in my interview project. Here it is.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Welcome. So I will email it to you, and
Okay.
otherwise, I hope